All right. Time now is 10:12 a.m. in the morning on April 14th. Ooh, spring break is already halfway done, so rip at around maybe 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. ish. Suddenly there's music playing in my dream, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? And then I woke up, and apparently it's the fuck? Apparently it's music playing in my apartment. So Cindy's playing music, and she's also singing along with it. And the song is so repetitive. It's like, I wanna date her, but I'm Spider-Man. I wanna date her, but I'm Spider-Man. It's so, I don't know what kind of song it is. I feel like I've heard it. All right, time now is 12:48. There have been some changes in plans. So originally Potter was to meet me right outside of my apartment, but I guess he is late or something, so he decided to tell me to directly go to Westwood. I'll be taking bus number 1 instead, because if I wait for CC6, it's gonna be too late.
即係佢就求其咗個密碼嘅，咁跟住咧又 work 喎。其實我唔想做嗰啲咩 small talk 啊，我唔想佢喺度同我講，哎呀對唔住，有啲咧係有埋嘢嘅。得㗎啦，你有紙巾咪得，記得問我紙巾。
It's 3 p.m. Had a cafe mocha. I didn't pay. He paid for me. Yes. I'm waiting for Potter. First time.
Dip on in the sauce is fine. Yeah. 我覺得 Chiefly 算係貴而且高質啦。邊樣樓係高質而且高質。Celine Dion。叫做咩？係咪阿拉伯地中海菜？勁！
哇 Hellenic
Delphi Greek
哦
呢啲係我中意。
Persian 好陌生人 Yeah, it's a pretty interesting day. Spent the whole day at Westwood Village. I'm gonna talk about what happened today a little bit later because the whole day is basically me and Potter chatting, and that's the whole day. We went to a cafe, we went to a Chick-fil-A, we walked and walked and walked and walked, and we talked about many things. All right, dinner is ready. Let's go. I met up with Potter. I got down the bus station. He's standing right there. I mean, he didn't stand right there. He was standing somewhere else, but he showed up. And then we walked, and then it's like, yeah, what's up? So Potter wants to go to Westwood because he wants to look at houses there. Now, Potter wants to use this as an excuse for him to leave because he wants to leave because he doesn't feel comfortable living in an Airbnb where it's shared bathroom and shared kitchen. And then we went to the cafe. We sat down and I ordered a cafe mocha. He paid for me and I was like, "Do you have Zelle?" And he's like, "Nah, it's just small money." All right. So we sat down and I honestly thought we're out here just to talk about his project, his sculpture dress project thing where he wants to film a music video for, and I also want to talk about my short film ideas. But instead, what we mostly talked about, because I and Potter, we met at 1 p.m. and we just kept talking and talking and talking to each other all the way until like 7:30. So that's 6.5 hours worth of talking, and it doesn't end. So we basically talked about everything. Again, I talked about my dream of using movies as a means to promote Hong Kong culture, and I also talked about how this new generation of young Hong Kongers are probably the edgiest and the most depressed generation of Hong Kongers because of the political pressure and just society in general, societal changes in general. After the cafe, we continued to walk. We just walked on and on and on and on and on. Where else did we go? So we went to, we again just kept walking, and then at one point, he said he's feeling a bit stomach ache. So not stomach ache, like straight up like belly ache. He said he wants to go to the bathroom. So I'm like, okay. So we went to a Target, just walked and walked and walked. We walked for like hours. We even left Westwood and we started walking southwards in Little Persia. And I didn't even know it's Little Persia until I saw the signs. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of Arabic. Is this like an Arabic, like a little Saudi Arabia or something? And then I saw Persian and I'm like, oh, Persia, this is like little Iran, little Tehran. And then I went to Google, turns out it's called Tehrangelis, like Tehrangelis. Like I know so much about American music, British music, and Japanese music, but not Hong Kong music. So Potter's like, oh, have you heard of so I already knew Tom Fat Key and like this NYPD, which are rap groups. I've heard of them. And then Potter's like, have you heard of No Not Real? Have you heard of Ango? Have you heard of this rapper, that rapper? And I'm like, no. No. And then he's like, wow. And then he's like, oh, have you heard of this singer? And then I want to pretend to say yes. I want to pretend to know this singer. But I'm just gonna be honest here. I'm like, fuck. I don't know anyone. And I feel really embarrassed, but I'm gonna be honest here. Like I was being honest. I was like, I really don't know this. Like, cause earlier today when we were walking through UCLA, I told Potter that I haven't watched enough Hong Kong movies. I haven't listened to enough Hong Kong music. I haven't been to enough places in Hong Kong. And Potter told me, why force yourself? I mean, even if you don't listen to any Cantonese songs or watch any Cantonese movies, like you're still a Hongkonger. Like it doesn't change the fact that you're still a Hongkonger. Yeah, so of course, given that it's Potter, he has friends and stuff, a life, unlike me. He's gonna meet another friend tonight. And that friend is a white person. And that white person also knows the problematic dude. I told you all before, in last year during fall semester, Potter met this guy, this white guy, who's like problematic, who had a lot of sex, raged, and took drugs, and is literally like a Netflix teen show character, like a Euphoria character, literally Euphoria character in real life, which is bad. Like I like meeting people, but the one type of people that I don't want to ever meet are Euphoria characters in real life. But Potter is gonna hang out with him tonight, and it's not like he has a choice because he's friends with this white guy, and this white guy is friends with this Euphoria real life character. So Potter told me, like, oh, you could stay behind and meet them if you want. And I'm like, I mean, I want to meet people, but maybe not them. And then Potter's like, really? Seriously? Like, you really need to think about this. Like, you told me you want to meet friends. You told me you need to be more aggressive. You told me you want to socialize. Well, here's your chance. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but... So at the end, Potter's like, okay, you know, if you want to go home, you should go home. So at that point, it's 7:30, so I just took bus number 1, came back home and cooked myself dinner. Potter even told me that he likes to listen to music at 0.75 speed because he, especially when he's, after he smoked, taken some shrooms, and, you know, after, he had smoked some weed. It just gives this very otherworldly feeling. And then he said, you know, you wouldn't understand. And I'm like, yeah, of course I wouldn't understand. Like, bro, I don't smoke weed. I don't take shrooms. But yeah, like at one point, like I don't know why. Maybe it's because the way I walk is not very straight. Like I stray to the left, I stray to the right. And I always accidentally bump into Potter. And Potter's like, why are you always bumping into me? Like, why are you always running into me? And I'm like, no, I'm not. Maybe it's because I can't walk in a straight line. I don't know. And Potter told me, I think it's because you like to rely on me. Like, psychologically. And I'm like, okay. I don't fucking know, man. All right, time now is 9:36 p.m. a.m. on April 15th, I believe. But yeah, today's gonna be a special day because I'm going to go out on an adventure by myself. Which has its pros and cons. Alright, so this is the chocolate marshmallow cake from Ralph's. I'm going to skip lunch today, so time to eat this and fill my stomach full of sugar, I guess. Let's see how sweet this is gonna be. Oh boy. Here we go. I'm gonna regret this. Woo! Oh my god. It's sweet. Ooh. Mmm. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Chinatown. Let's look for the Bruce Lee statue or something. I don't know. Wow, this is surprisingly traditional. This is surprisingly traditional. It's got the Vita sugar cane. I've never even seen this before. There's a fish tank in here, casually. Plastic stools. Oh my god. This is, oh my god. Where did they get these? Oh my god. All right. Hold on. Bro. Not bad. Not a bad temple. Not at all. One thing this place lacks is incense vents. I don't see any of them. No. You gotta have some, bruh. Wow, alright, a couple of things I would like to say. Why did I say this? I don't know. Okay, let's go over today chronologically. I woke up at 9. I left the apartment at 10:15, 10:45-ish. And then I just took a 2-hour long bus ride to Chinatown. Straight up, man. I just watched the Chinatown adventure video. But yeah, at the metro station, I left at the Expo Sepulveda, and then I waited for a bus for like 20 something minutes. Bus 17 finally showed up, took that bus back home. And then by the time I arrived home, it was like 6:15, and then for the last 2 hours, I just sat here and didn't do anything. Just like, I remember those Hong Kong adventures where I just walk around the park, and it's just so much more entertaining than this. Like Chinatown in LA really is quite a uneventful place. Like Chinese American Museum is probably the highlight, but even so, it's not like a great place or anything. Like for some reason I just didn't really enjoy myself there. Like there's nothing enjoyable. I just walked around from street to street to street, and it's just like I'd rather like adventure around in Hong Kong. Like if I go to Tuen Mun and visit the temples there, it's so much more local and so much more real. Amazon Prime. Earlier this morning, instead of filming an album review because I was just too tired and I wasn't in the mood to, I signed up for Amazon Prime student discount, and it's a free trial for 6 months. Now, tomorrow is Saturday, and then it's Sunday. For tomorrow, there's probably like this UCLA like talent show thing that Jonah may or may not want to go to. So maybe I'm gonna take this opportunity and ask Jonah if he's going there tomorrow. And if a lot of people are also going there, maybe I could go there. All right, time now is 12:38 on April 16th. We're halfway through April. I feel, and not only when it comes to geography, like when it comes to anything, like any freaking thing. I'm born and raised in Hong Kong. 19 years of my life. I'm born and raised in Hong Kong. And I'm still not an expert in Hong Kong geography. I'm not an expert in Hong Kong music. I'm not an expert in Hong Kong film. I'm not an expert in Hong Kong anything. I just thought that I should have known more. I feel so detached, and I look weird. I don't have monolid. My nose bridge is tall. I have deep eye sockets, okay? And I actually sound good in English. I actually speak fluent English. That makes me feel even less local. Yeah, man, like, again, with Potter speaking to me a couple days ago about music in Hong Kong, like, I haven't even heard of, like, 90% of the music he's mentioned. How does one bring forth the Hong Kong culture if they themselves don't even know much about it? There are tons of McDowell jokes and Stephen Chow jokes that I can't even laugh at because I'm not even like immersed in this culture. There are like pop cultural references, like these Hong Kong U-Haul secrets that I just don't understand. There are slangs that I don't understand. Yang, in order to be like, get out. Like Potter told me and JT about this yang and meng and words like this, and like and slangs like yap and fo. Like yap means shabby, like not very top-notch quality, and fo is like faked, like it's fake, like slangs like this I haven't even used. So yeah, there's still an ocean of knowledge in Hong Kong culture, just like many other cultures in the world. Italian culture, North African culture, Tibetan culture. Like every culture has an ocean of things, and it's a really large ocean. And so I've always thought, oh, Binlong, Binlong is the capital city of the North Song dynasty. The fact that I know about the city is pretty impressive, right? Pretty cool. Psych, first paragraph of the Chinese novel that I started reading last night is literally about the lifestyle of people in Binlong and Lamngon, which is the capital city of the South Song dynasty. It's not that obscure, bitch. If you read the most basic martial arts novel, the most basic of the most basic, you should naturally know what is the capital city of the Song dynasty. And if you don't know that, you're kind of illiterate. Am I right? So, yeah. Jonah, I asked Jonah out of curiosity. Jonah is indeed going to the UCLA Hong Kong Student Association talent show. And, you know what? Screw it. I'm going. Because why the fuck not? There's nothing to lose here, only time. But I think there's a lot more to gain. I think I can know more people, but also just hang out and go outside and do stuff. Okay, I've arrived at UCLA. I don't know where I'm going. I really don't know where I'm going. Fuck. Okay. Okay, it should be at the very front, and Jonah and the girl from UCLA should be there. I mean, obviously. I don't know what's going on. I'm so lost. I don't know where I'm supposed to go.
今日嘅表演有咩感覺？今日嘅表演。你可以試啊，你應該俾你試啊。
Time now is 12:30 a.m. after midnight. I'm back at my own apartment. Holy shit. Holy fuck. Today was a very interesting day. Honestly, today I didn't think anything important would happen, but of course it is always those days when a lot happens. I got off and I walked, and then I took a photo of the place I'm at, and then I sent it to Jonah, and I'm like, I have no idea where I am. And Jonah's like, stay here, we'll come to you. So they came to me, and voila. I learned from my mistakes, because the last time I went to Hong Kong U with Natalie and Grant and Zara, I didn't stand still, which caused a lot of confusion. At one point we followed the noise, and then we found the place. It was a pretty large room, sort of like a small classroom size room, and there were rows of seats, and there were people there. There were tons of Hong Kongers there, and they all look exactly like how you would expect them to be. Like, a lot of Hong Kongers I saw have the exact same hairstyle. A lot of boys have the same, like, either this, but a little longer, or like downwards hair. Kind of like the Japanese boy hairstyle. A U852 talent show. A U852 means University 852, and 852 is the phone number of Hong Kong. So this is basically all the South Californian University Hong Kong Student Association's coalition. It's called the U852. So that includes UCLA Hong Kong Student Association, USC, UCSB, which is University of California, Santa Barbara, as well as UCSD, which is University of California, San Diego. So it's 4 universities, a coalition of 4 Hong Kong student associations. And it's really fun, even though I didn't really involve myself much with them. Like, it's really fun to see how it unfolds. It's almost political in a sense, like 4 different Hong Kong student associations from 4 different cities, or 4 different universities sort of coming together. It was like it was a meeting of 4 unlikely but also likely groups of people. It's very interesting. But yeah, and then the talent show goes on, and it gets kind of better from there. We have a rock band performance, which is kind of bad. It's kind of Walmart, but who cares? We have a rap performance, which is not that bad. Not stealing, oiling. Jonah's friend, his performance is the most sophisticated and exciting. He started off singing, and then it's like one of those stupid America's Got Talent shows, where it's like, it starts off very tame and starts off very soft, and then a psych, turns out it's like a crazy wacky dance performance. There's an intermission in the talent show. There's an intermission, and that is around 7 something p.m. And so Jonah, Kelly, and another girl showed up. Another girl, also Hong Konger. I mean, almost everyone in that room are Hong Kongers, but another girl showed up, and then so me, Jonah, Kelly, and another girl, we walked away from our seats to the side of the room to speak to Jonah's friend. Hi, what's your major? And she also asked me stuff like, oh, are you year 2? What's your major? Yada yada. The basics, the usuals. I'm already at a point where I know exactly what a stranger would ask me, and I would know exactly how I would answer them, because I've been asked these questions so many times already. I'm kind of experienced. We are going to have dinner together. So yeah, the winners are announced, and turns out, who'da thunk, all 3 of the winners, because it's a champion, first runner-up, second runner-up, all 3 of the winners are UCLA winners. Who'da thunk? And the winner is both surprisingly and unsurprisingly Jonah's friend, who gave the most extravagant performance. So, it's crazy. We took a photo. We took a class photo. Not a class photo, it's just a big photo. But, people like Jonah and me and as well as Kelly were like, okay, come on. Let's leave no trace. We don't want to socialize too much because it's awkward and anxiety inducing. But the winner, Jonah's friend, who's the winner of the competition, is like, yo, let's go! And he pushed me to take the photo. He pushed Kelly. He pushed Jonah. He's like, let's take a photo. Come on, man. Just one photo. Just one more. So we took a photo and then we left. And then now it's me, Jonah, Kelly, the other girl, another girl, some guys, and Jonah's friend. And we were all just standing there, and we're 10 people, and we're like, okay, where do we have dinner? So I wanted to, honestly, this is a great opportunity for me to socialize more because they're from UCLA, they're Hongkongers, that's fire. Yeah, that's what I want. But I was also a little bit afraid that I may socialize too much because I'm the kind of person who isn't quite myself. Like sometimes I socialize too much, sometimes I socialize too little. Me, a new girl, the new guy, Kelly, Jonah, us 5, we are in Jonah's car, and Jonah drove us to Sawtelle. Parked the car, we left, and we waited outside of the restaurant for like 40 minutes. We just stood there, and it was cold. We waited for so long, and then finally Jonah's friend, the winner of the talent show, has arrived with 3 guys and a girl. So the 3 guys, one of them is a tall white guy with a cap, the only white guy. One of them is a Taiwanese person who only speaks Mandarin and English, a Hongkonger, and then a girl who is somehow involved somehow. I don't know why. Like, Jonah's friend, who is clearly a massive extrovert, was like, everybody, let's self-introduce. Let's have a little ice-breaking activity. And then me, Jonah, and Kelly were like, come on, is that necessary? So we didn't do that at the end. But the white guy, the tall white guy with a cap, he's the only white person here. And according to him, he's a 1/4 Japanese. Who knows? He's still white. He likes movies, and he randomly talked about Kurosawa, and I heard it. And the Jonah's friend randomly asked Jonah, have you seen Kurosawa films? And Jonah's like, who's Kurosawa? And then I said, oh, I watched 7 Kurosawa films. And then the white guy was like, oh, you mean 7 Samurai? And I'm like, no, like 7 Kurosawa films. So he asked me, like, which one is my favorite? And I said, Ikiru. And then he said his favorite is High and Low, but he didn't say that to me. So that's really interesting. And then he later asked me, like, what's my major? And I said, film production. And he's like, oh. And I was the only one, so when I removed my mask, my mustache is revealed. Like, I bet none of them had expected that I have a mustache. So when I removed it, Jonah's friend was like, whoa, you have a mustache, that's so cool. And when he asked me how old I am, I said 19, and it's like, wow, you're so young, you look so old. And I could have sworn it's Taiwanese accent. But I don't want to make the mistake. Like, turns out they're Chinese. Oh shit. So, but at the end I'm like, okay, are you guys Taiwanese? And he's like, yeah. And I said, oh, because I can hear like the Taiwanese accent, like a little bit. And he's like, oh yeah, we should speak more. So yeah, we were again standing outside of the ice cream shop, Wanderlust, at around 10 something p.m. 10:30, it was 10:40, maybe even 11 p.m. Like, we were just standing outside. And I continued to converse with people. Really, I just wanted to talk. But then again, I balance it out. I don't talk too much, I don't talk too less. I want Kelly's Instagram. So I saw Kelly scrolling through her phone, and I'm like, oh, by the way, right, I haven't asked her Instagram yet. And she's like, oh, okay. So she asked for, I type in my name, and then she followed me, and turns out she even has less Instagram followers than me. Which is weird, because like back in secondary school, I'm the one with the least, with the fewest number of followers. But right here, I'm actually doing quite well. And then after she followed me, I'm like, oh my god, one more, and then it's 200. And because I said this, the new girl and the new guy's like, oh, let me follow you. So right now I actually have 201 followers. That's why today is such an epic day. Not only because I spent a considerable amount of money having dinner and eating ice cream with a bunch of strangers, but also I reached 200 followers on Instagram. Finally, even though I don't really care about Instagram followers at this point in time, because it's like, come on, I'm too old for this Instagram shit. But I still like it, you know, like, yeah. So, yeah, also, the guy who studied political science, the new guy, he also went to the Revolution of Our Time screening in UCLA. Flashback to last Friday when I finished watching Revolution of Our Times in the UCLA James Bridges Theater, and I was like, I wanted to stay behind a little more because I wanted to meet people. Turns out I don't even have to do that. They show up naturally. So, alright, time now is 8:09 a.m. on April 17th. It's a Sunday and it's Easter. So, god damn it. I only slept for about 4 hours and 40 something minutes. Naturally, because I'm in level 2 of my video game. Making friends is key, you know, making friends is the goal. So, I don't know. So tired. I didn't fall asleep at the church sermon, so okay, I'm gonna talk about today, I guess. The pastor drove me and Kelly there. I didn't fall asleep during the sermon at all. I didn't feel uncomfortable either. Sunday service, Sunday school, Bible study fellowship thing. And yeah, so there were a lot of people today. Yeah, afterwards Jonah left. I haven't paid him yet the dinner fee from last night. So me, Kelly, another girl, the elder sister of the very athletic guy, and another guy with a small hat, we went to have lunch at another spot in Chinatown at a restaurant. And it was a good meal. Tofu, there's a sweet and sour pork. Eat our lunch for a while and we couldn't finish all, so we decided to pack them in boxes and take them away. And it's 2 boxes. One box is sweet and sour pork and the other is the eggplants. And I forgot to take the eggplants. Yeah, after lunch, me and Kelly walked back to the church and we just sat down in the main area in a huge room where there's not a lot of people. And at the other side of the room, some like 3 people are counting donation money. The pastor and his wife is sitting on some seats, and then Kelly's in front of me. And the pastor and other people decided to go to have tea because they hadn't had lunch yet. So fine. So we went to a delicious food corner in Monterey Park, the same restaurant I went to like a few weeks ago after church. And in there, I originally didn't want to order anything, but I ended up ordering a milk tea, and I ate some chicken wings. Before arriving at the church, the pastor who drove me and Kelly to the church told both of us that a Mandarin-speaking person who has been part of this Bible study fellowship for a while already is bringing his girlfriend here. The other people to finish counting the donation money in the big room. Kelly was bored and she scrolled through Instagram, the UCLA Hong Kong Student Association Instagram, and in one of the posts, I'm not going to tell you which one, she's like, wait, hold on. that's the Mandarin speaking guy and his girlfriend. I'm like, what? What? So the plot thickens, and even today, like this morning, during the drive to church, and then when we were walking to the dim sum shop, and then when we were walking to lunch, we also talked about the traumatic events of last night. And it was already very interesting, but now the plot thickens even further when Kelly found out that the Mandarin speaking guy and his girlfriend somehow joined an activity, which is weird, given that the Mandarin speaking guy doesn't study in UCLA. And the plot thickens even further when we learned that the talent show last night is U852. There isn't a single contestant from USC last night, and I don't know if there are any people from USC among the audience either, which is extremely weird. Like, what's going on? So Kelly's like, yeah, that's weird. I had a lot of fun just scrolling through the Instagram pages of the UCLA Hong Kong Student Association, as well as the Hong Kong Student Associations of other universities, and we were just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and we find something weird and interesting on a lot of the posts. It seems a little problematic, you know, but one really interesting thing is that UCLA Hong Kong Student Association organizes these culture events where, like, they make a movie or something, they make a short film, and they screen these short films, and it's like, I kind of want to do that shit. But yeah, spring break is over, and I had super low expectations, so I ended up thinking that it's eventful. I really aggressively socialized. I've never socialized this hard in my life. This is a new high for me. This is honestly a new high for me. You know, one of those, like, a bunch of people having fun, taking photo, posting it on Instagram. You know, one of those incidents? I feel like I've achieved that level, which is horrifying for something like me. Or I'm about to reach that level. I haven't reached the top yet, of course. But I am impressed how far I've gone up this ladder of socializing. I am honestly shocked from socializing. I can have a good chat with someone, but a good chat is a good chat. What's important is that a good chat is not enough. You know, you can be friendly, you can exchange great conversation with someone, but socializing is more than that. Socializing is beyond that. How to continue chatting with that person, how to build good relationships with a person, how to come off nice, how to come off likable and charismatic. That is a skill I need to master, and I am doing it. And it's amazing, honestly. I'm learning it the hard way, but I'm learning it. And because the music was so dreamy, I almost realized that I'm not dreaming. That this is real. This is real life. I'm in the USA right now, all across the Pacific Ocean, in a different world, and I'm surviving by myself. But only for a split second. Because I still, and I will never, probably, be able to compute that I'm here right now, living, breathing in LA, and it's the same world as Hong Kong. But I will never really fully grasp that. Because the day I do is the day I fall into a deep pit of depression and pain and suffering. And it'll never happen. Saturday, which is yesterday, is probably the most unexpectedly strange and also the dreamiest day since I've been to LA, since I've been to USA, since I've left Hong Kong, actually. I'm so glad. I was so close to saying no, you know, when Jonah asked me, or Jonah didn't even ask me, when Jonah told me that I can go to this talent show, I could have just said, nah, I mean, I got stuff to do. And I would have missed out all these things. I would have completely missed out all these things. My Instagram will still have fewer than 200 followers, and I wouldn't have such a memorable, dreamy experience. But I said yes, and I gained so much from it. You sacrifice honesty for the sake of being nice. And I know that's a little fake, and that's kind of the Californian spirit. But really, it's so goddamn important just to find something random to talk about. Just DM people on Instagram. Like, I did that, you know? Like, socialization isn't a natural thing, at least for me. It's a game. It's a game of strategy. It's a game of knowing how to pull strings, knowing how to understand someone so that you're able to, you know, talk to someone. It's a complicated game, and it's not fun, but everybody's got to play it if you want to live a good life. Also, this morning I just remembered that there's transfer meeting thing, this transfer, like, in-person transfer workshop a couple days later on Tuesday. So I'm gonna skip Spanish class that day. I'm not even gonna go. I'm just going to directly go to my college campus and go to that workshop. And JT will be there, and we will hang out and we will talk. And again, socialize. Socialize, shows, socialize, shows, socialize. JT and Potter have met once or maybe a couple times already without me. Even when they hung out, apparently, according to Potter, they didn't completely forget about me. JT asked about me still. Like, JT asked, or she didn't ask though, it was just an expression, like, I wonder how is Enoch doing. According to Potter, JT says that. JT is good at socializing not because she is a master of puppet or some evil, calculated mastermind. She's good at it because she's good at it. She's born like this. She has a personality where she just, A, is very brave and is not afraid of rejection and being hated. And I'm the opposite of that. I'm so afraid. Find an excuse. Always find an excuse. And talk about something that you don't even want to talk about, but you still talk about it, because that's socializing, man. That's socializing. Level 1 is complete. Level 2, I need to set a goal. And I guess, I honestly don't know. I guess the goal should be if I have joined a group of friends that is 4 or more people, or B, have 6 friends that I can rely on. And as far as girlfriend goes, again, it's not in a hurry, and B, it's not how it works. Friends I can aggressively socialize, but girlfriend is something that needs to happen naturally. It's a personal matter, and I can't just say I need to acquire it like it's some side quest or something. It's more like an achievement. Alright, time now is noon, 12:02, on April 18th. Alright, here's lunch. 1 egg, sausage, I boiled it so that it's cooked inside out, hopefully, and the eggplant dish thing from lunch yesterday, which I still haven't finished, so I'll finish tomorrow dinner. But, looks good. Let's try the egg first, I guess. Obviously good. Alright. Cooking the beef. The white guy was here, my roommate, and he was trying to open a plastic box of fried rice, and it sort of exploded and rice came out everywhere, on the floor, on the table, into the pan, and it was a bit of an awkward moment. We didn't say a single thing to each other. He cleaned up the mess and I helped him a little bit. But yeah, big steak. Wow. Alright, it's like 32. Got the pasta, fried the big cabbage, the big white cabbage, triangular steak. Yay. Alrighty then. Time now is 12:11 after midnight on April 19th. And yeah, I don't know why am I so excited and whimsical all of a sudden. I think it's because of the stupid Spanish homework. Nowadays I have so much thought about, like, I have so much memory about life science, life knowledge. Like, throw me back to 2019, throw me back to 2018. What the hell do I know about self-sustaining, like cooking, when to go to the supermarket, how to do the laundry? I'm doing the laundry right now. I just washed my pajamas. I'm washing other clothes right now. You know, what the hell do I know about finding an apartment, finding an Airbnb? What do I know about socializing, building relationships, setting up goals? I don't know jack shit about these things because I don't have to worry about them. So I end up worrying about things that I actually don't need to worry about, like my school life, which I should be worried about, but I overthink things. Alright, time now is 10:19 a.m. in the morning on April 19th. At around like 2 a.m., Pepper's still awake at very late. Truth be told, out of all people I've met in Los Angeles so far, the one I'm most eager to hang out with is Pepper, because I don't know, because we have common interests is what's happening. Pepper's really nice, and we talked about many things. Oh yeah, Pepper asked me if I'm gonna go back to Hong Kong in the summer, and I said nah, my family wants to go to me instead in LA. And she said, oh. And I told her I need to make my short film here in the USA. I mean, I could go back to Hong Kong and make it. So that's what Pepper said, actually. Pepper said she wants to go back to Hong Kong to make the short film. To make a short film. And I'm like, oh, do you have any friends there to help you make it? And then she quoted back her own question, asking me if I'm going to go back to Hong Kong, because she also wants me to help her back in Hong Kong, but unfortunately I won't be going back to Hong Kong. Before I could even ask her this, she already replied. She said, oh, by the way, I decided to stay half more year. And I'm like, oh, you don't like Riverside? And she said, yeah, Riverside is boring as fuck. And I said, oh, okay. Oh, by the way, will you be taking film 32 then, if you stay half more year in this college? And then she said, yes. She's a very bubbly and excited girl. Like, she always adds multiple, like, letters at the end of her like text. Like, wow, like W-A-W. She does W-A-W-O-W-W-W-W-W, which is kind of funny. Right, so I'm going to leave, right now it's about to be 10:30, I'm going to leave at around 12:15. So at around 12:15, I'm going to go to Ralph's, buy food, come back, and by the time I come back, it should be about 1:30, hopefully. And at 1:30, I'm going to take eat a quick lunch, and then I'm going to go out again, and at 2:30 I will be meeting JT at the main campus of the college. Or I actually don't know where. I'm going to text her. And then we're going to meet up and be like, aha, yay, and then we're going to go to the workshop together. Alright, time now is like 12:50. So JT changed her mind and wanted to meet up with me not at 2:30, but at 3:15, which means I have more time. So we're... Wow. Okay. I can buy one of these. Wow. Alright, it's 2:13. This is what I got. Ignore the frigging trash. By the way, only 41 point something dollars. Very cheap. Good bargain. All right, orange pepper. I got cabbage. Let's place it on the ground like a savage. That rhymes. Brown eggs. Did any of them crack? No. Amazing. All right. Tomato biscuit soup. Bought this because it only requires water. No milk needed. Highlight of the show. Chocolate chip cookies. Trolley sour bite gummy. Noosa yogurt. Blueberry flavored. This is chicken thighs. Fuck. Garlic. I love garlic. Need to buy one every time. Fingerling potatoes. All right. And oh my god. I thought for a moment, I thought the cashier forgot to put my fish in, but cod. And finally, and chicken tenders, because this is, I wanted to buy turkey breast, but this one is easier to dissect and it's cheaper. Pringles. It's $2.26. One piece of chicken tender, one piece of end toast, a little bit of the HKSA eggplant, and this is oven baked, microwaved. I didn't even do anything to it. I just took it out of the box. Let's go. This is my lunch. It's 3:27. I'm there. JT's late because the buses are acting weird. So well, I'm back to the HSS.
And what it is, what they do is they focus on research and theory. So all 9 UCs have.
Well, that was a bizarre experience. So nobody came to the workshop in person other than me and JT. And JT left early, and then I left, and you would not believe this. So yeah, she went to the bathroom. I waited outside of the bathroom, and then we went into the room. And originally, I wanted to talk to her, like chat to her, like talk to her about socializing, my weird experience at UCLA. And then she said, "Oh, you went to UCLA?" And I said, "Yeah." And she said, "Oh, I went there yesterday. And I'm gonna go there later again tonight." Of course. JT and her 12 million friends at UCLA and at the rest of the world. Just, she has appointments left and right, and she has to go everywhere, anywhere, everywhere, every time. But yeah, we enter the classroom, and turns out we're the only 2-person in there. Aside from the woman who is holding the Zoom meeting, which is a bit awkward. And this workshop goes through a PowerPoint, but I've seen that PowerPoint already. But what's good about this workshop is that I get to ask a couple questions, like just as a friend, you know. But JT's like, "I gotta be somewhere. I gotta go." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So she just left. Yay, I'm alone again. I didn't have to come here. I could have just gone on Zoom. It wouldn't have made a difference. It actually would not have made a difference. In fact, if I got on Zoom, it would actually be better, because on Zoom, you could literally see the PowerPoint because of share screen. So for UCLA Film, 838 people applied and 1% got in. So out of 838, only 8 people got in? Or 9? 9. So yeah, that's basically 0%. Okay, fine. So me, with my diagonal bag and my souvenir, my leather booklet, I walked to the bus station, and I was like looking at my transit app, looking how to get back home. And at the bus station, there are so many East Asians or East Asian Americans there. It's hilarious. Like, I just look and it's just a sea of East Asians. I'm like, wow, we are so strong. So, and then I walked a little bit forward. In front of me, there's a group of friends. You know, like 3 girls, a couple guys, very American. You know, the guys have dyed hair. You know, what's up? Haha. I walk past them and I look back and I'm like, hold on, that, whoa, what? That's Pepper. What? So I'm like, okay, do I just walk up to her and say hi, or because at that point Pepper's chatting with her friends, very happily, like playing with their phones, you know, and just laughing. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to just randomly walk up to her and interrupt her. You know, it would be disrespectful, and I don't want to make it awkward. I don't want to make a scene. But at the same time, I don't want to just stand here like an idiot and staring at her. It was a very awesome moment because it created a lot of tension. And that's awesome. I like tension. It's a very conspiracies moment. Very conspiracies flavored. What can I say? So I thought to myself, you know what? I have to do this. Just for the sake of it. I will WhatsApp Pepper and tell her I'm right in front of you. Like she's in a horror movie or something. So I did, and then I guess she read it, and she looked up, and then she saw me, and then I'm like, I look so defeated. Like, and then I just walked towards her, smiling like, hey. And it didn't interrupt anything. Like, Pepper's friends, they all ignored me. It was as if I was invisible. And I was at the side, and I didn't say much. I didn't cause a scene, so it was like, it didn't make a difference if I join Pepper or not. It doesn't make any difference. Yeah, I could almost slightly tell what Pepper's friend is speaking to her. But throughout the bus ride, it's just Pepper and her friend just laughing and chatting and giggling, and I'm just sitting at the opposite side, just looking all miserable and just looking at the air, just staring at my phone aimlessly. And you know, Pepper and her friend, they talked about, he follows me on Snapchat. Like Pepper's friend is like, oh, this boy followed me on Snapchat. He screenshotted a photo. Oh my God, what's happening? This is awkward. This is weird. Ha ha ha. Blah blah. And at some point, I asked Pepper, like, what class did you take? And this sort of interrupted them a little bit. And in my heart, I'm like, oh shit, I don't want to interrupt them. But at the same time, oh yes, I want to interrupt them so that they would acknowledge my existence. And then a little bit later, Pepper's friend asked Pepper, like, where does he live? And Pepper said, oh, somewhere near this place, Sawtelle. And Pepper was like, why don't you ask him directly? He's sitting right across you. Well, to be fair, if I was Pepper's friend, I also wouldn't randomly ask someone of the opposite sex, where do you live, when I only met him like 10 minutes ago. Or like 8 minutes ago, 7, I don't know. Yeah, at the end, turns out me and Pepper's friend got off at the same bus station, but Pepper's friend and another, I assume, Japanese guy with dyed hair, this Chad, just left. And then I left, and then they just disappeared. They just walked away. And then I took another bus back home. That's it. Bye-bye. For me, like, right now, I have no idea who my next friend is going to be. I honestly have zero clue. And, I feel like I should. Like, I should just write down a list of all my pathways. You know, like the cobweb strategy. Except I do it even more analytically. Like, from Potter, how many friends can I gain from Potter's side? How many friends can I gain from JT's side? 0, right? Because JT's friends are all dancers from UCLA. The fuck do they have to do with me? Pepper's friends, maybe, because Pepper's a film major, and maybe, but I don't know. Okay, from Film 40, from the church, how much am I gonna get? And at which area am I gonna work on? You know, I should do this because I honestly and aimless. Like level 2 is probably just as tough as level 1. Level 1 is college, food, and housing, and it's difficult in a different way. I mean, obviously it's difficult because it's just annoying. It's a nuisance. It's complicated and it's full of pitfalls and trap holes. But friendship is more psychological, and it's so much more complex than you would think.